Alright folks, gather around because today, on the 29th of May, 2025, we are diving deep into the world of an unsung hero of the herb garden. I'm talking about borage, a fantastic plant that you probably didn't even know you needed in your life. Its fancy scientific name is Borago officinalis, but you might know it by its charming nicknames like starflower or bee bread. This lovely herb hails from the sunny Mediterranean region, but it has happily made its home in gardens all across our India and the world. It's an annual herb, meaning it completes its life cycle in 1 year, but don't let that fool you, its impact is long-lasting. Now what does this borage chap look like, you ask? Well, imagine a plant that's not afraid to show a little character. It grows to about 2 to 3 feet tall, standing rather proudly. The stems and leaves are covered in fine, whitish, bristly hairs, giving it a slightly fuzzy, almost silvery appearance. And the flowers? Oh, the flowers are the real showstoppers here. They are a brilliant, vivid blue, sometimes purplish blue, and shaped like perfect 5-pointed stars. Occasionally, you might even spot pinkish ones, adding a delightful surprise to the mix. So, why am I making such a song and dance about this hairy star-flowered plant? Because borage is incredibly versatile, a true all-rounder. It's not just a pretty face in the garden, it's a culinary delight and has some rather interesting traditional medicinal uses too. For centuries, people have valued borage for its ability to lift the spirits and impart courage. In this little chat of ours, we're going to unpack everything borage. First things first, if you want to grow borage, you need to pick the right spot. Think of it like choosing a good seat at the cinema. Location matters for the best experience. Borage is quite an accommodating plant, really, not too fussy. It absolutely loves a sunny spot. We're talking at least 6 hours of good direct sunlight each day. It can tolerate a little bit of partial shade, especially in very hot Indian summers, but full sun generally leads to a healthier plant with more flowers. Next up is the soil. Borage isn't terribly picky about soil type, which is great news for many of us. It can grow in poor soil, but like any plant, it will truly thrive in well-drained, moderately fertile soil. Standing water is a big no-no for borage roots. They don't like to have wet feet for too long, it can lead to rot. If your garden soil is heavy clay, consider adding some compost or sand to improve its drainage and structure. Before you even think about sowing those seeds, give the chosen area a bit of a tidy up. Remove any weeds or large stones that might compete with your borage seedlings. Then, loosen the soil to a depth of about 8 to 12 inches using a garden fork or a kerpie. While borage isn't a particularly heavy feeder, incorporating some well-rotted compost or old manure into the soil at this stage is a good idea. Borage plants can get quite bushy, spreading out about 12 to 18 inches wide and growing up to 3 feet tall. Alright, you've picked your spot, prepped the soil like a pro. Now for the exciting part, planting the borage seeds. Timing is key, as with many things in gardening. The best time to sow borage seeds directly into your garden is in the spring, after all danger of frost has passed. For many parts of India, this could be from late February to April, depending on your local climate. The soil temperature should ideally be around 18 to 21 degrees Celsius for good germination. Borage seeds are relatively large, dark and ridged, making them quite easy to handle, which is a bonus. You don't need any fancy equipment for sowing. You can sow them directly where you want them to grow, as borage doesn't particularly enjoy being transplanted due to its long taproot. Plant the seeds about ½ an inch deep into your prepared soil. A good rule of thumb is to plant seeds at a depth twice their width. You can make small furrows or individual holes with your finger or a small stick. Drop 1 or 2 seeds every 12 inches or so. After you've placed the seeds in their new homes, gently cover them with soil. Once the seeds are covered, water the area gently but thoroughly. So, your borage seedlings are up and looking promising. Good job. Now let's talk about how to keep them happy and thriving. Sunlight, as we discussed, is crucial. Borage is a sun worshipper, needing at least 6 hours of direct sunlight per day to produce those beautiful blue flowers and healthy leaves. Watering is another important aspect of borage care, though it's quite straightforward. Young borage plants need consistent moisture to establish their root systems, so water them regularly, ensuring the soil stays moist but not waterlogged. Once the plants are well established, they become surprisingly drought tolerant. Thanks to their deep taproot, they can seek out moisture from lower down in the soil. However, during prolonged dry spells, especially when they are flowering, A good deep watering once or twice a week will keep them performing their best. Borage is generally a very low-maintenance herb. It doesn't demand much in terms of feeding. If you prepared your soil with compost before planting, that's often enough for the entire growing season. A light layer of organic mulch like straw or shredded leaves around the base of the plants can be beneficial. Borage is remarkably resilient. Section 5. Borage in bloom, a pollinator's paradise and gardener's joy. Once your borage plants mature, they will start producing their famous star-shaped flowers. Borage is renowned for being an absolute magnet for pollinators. Bees, especially bumblebees and honeybees, go absolutely crazy for borage flowers. They are rich in nectar, and the flowers conveniently replenish their nectar supply quickly, making them a reliable food source for these busy insects throughout the day. The benefit of attracting so many pollinators to your garden extends beyond just the borage itself. If you have fruit trees, vegetable patches with tomatoes, brinjals, gourds, or strawberry beds nearby, having borage around can significantly boost their pollination. More bees buzzing around means better fruit set and higher yields for your other crops. The flowering period of borage is quite long, typically from late spring all the way through summer, and sometimes even into early autumn if the conditions are right. The plant continuously produces new flowers, ensuring a steady supply for both the pollinators and for your own use. The flowers themselves are fascinating. They often start off pinkish and then turn that brilliant blue as they mature. Beyond its utility for pollinators, the visual appeal of borage in full bloom is undeniable. Whether planted in dedicated herb gardens, mixed borders, or even in large containers on a patio, borage brings life and color. Section 6. The Harvest Hall Gathering Borage Leaves and Flowers. Now that your borage is flourishing and flowering, it's time to reap the rewards. Harvesting borage is quite simple, and you can gather both the leaves and the flowers. The best time to pick borage flowers is when they are freshly opened, usually in the morning after the dew has dried. This is when their color is most vibrant and their delicate flavor is at its peak. You can gently pluck the individual flowers from their stems. Borage flowers are best used fresh. They don't store very well for long periods, tending to wilt and lose their charm. So try to harvest them just before you plan to use them. If you want to keep them for a few hours, you can place them on a damp paper towel in a sealed container in the refrigerator. One popular way to preserve their beauty is to candy them by brushing them with egg white and sprinkling them with fine sugar, then letting them dry. Another lovely idea is to freeze them in ice cubes to add a stunning visual touch to summer drinks. Young, tender borage leaves are the ones you want for culinary use. The flavor of young leaves is distinctly cucumber-like, very refreshing. Section 7. Kitchen Capers, Culinary Uses of Borage's Bounty. Alright, you've got your harvest of fresh borage leaves and flowers. Now for the fun part, using them in the kitchen. The young leaves, with their cool, cucumber-like flavor, are a fantastic addition to a variety of dishes. Finely chopped, they can be tossed into green salads, adding a refreshing zing. They work wonderfully in sandwiches, particularly with cream cheese or egg mayonnaise, much like you'd use cucumber itself. You can also blend them into dips, mix them into yogurt for a raita-like preparation, or even add them to cold soups like gazpacho. The key is to use them young and chop them finely if the slight fuzziness bothers you. Borage leaves can also be cooked. When cooked, their texture softens, and the hairs become unnoticeable. You can treat them much like spinach or other green leafy vegetables. Sauté them with a little garlic and olive oil, add them to omelets or frittatas, or incorporate them into pasta sauces or fillings for ravioli. Some traditional European recipes even feature battered and fried borage leaves, which sounds rather intriguing, doesn't it? Now let's talk about those stunning blue flowers. Borage flowers are edible and make a truly beautiful garnish. Section 8. Nature's Little Helper, Medicinal Marvels of Borage. Borage has a long and fascinating history of medicinal use, stretching back centuries. The ancient Greeks and Romans held it in high regard. Pliny the Elder, a Roman naturalist, wrote that borage maketh a man merry and joyful. It was traditionally believed to dispel melancholy, uplift the spirits, and grant courage. Roman soldiers were even said to drink wine infused with borage before going into battle to boost their bravery. While we might not rely on it for battle readiness today, this historical reputation for improving mood and reducing stress is quite interesting, no? Modern interest in borage's medicinal properties often centers on its seeds. Borage seed oil is exceptionally rich in an omega-6 fatty acid called gamma-linolenic acid, or GLA. In fact, it's one of the richest known plant sources of GLA. This compound is known for its anti-inflammatory properties and is thought to be beneficial for a variety of conditions. Borage oil supplements are popularly used to help manage skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis, and dermatitis, as it may help reduce inflammation and improve skin barrier function. Some studies also suggest GLA can be helpful for rheumatoid arthritis symptoms. Beyond the seed oil, other parts of the plant have been used in traditional folk medicine. Section 9, the final verdict: why borage is a must-have herb. So, there you have it, folks. A deep dive into the wonderful world of borage. This star-flowered herb is easy to grow and low maintenance, perfect for novice and experienced gardeners. It attracts bees, enhancing pollination and benefiting your garden. In the kitchen, its cucumber-like flavor and edible flowers add a unique touch to dishes. Borage is a versatile, beautiful, and beneficial addition to any garden. Happy gardening!